Ladies and gents, PepperBelly here. And some of you guys may recall a video I released back in January, on the 7th specifically, that was basically talking about Blacklight Retribution being revived. The new development studio Hardsuit Labs taking over for Zombie to release and update the PC version of Blacklight Retribution up to the standard of the PlayStation 4 version. Well, it's been just shy of 7 months and it's finally done. The parity patch has been released. Now it is available for everybody in the newest possible state, getting all of the updates and all of the features that the PlayStation 4 version currently has. Included with this update comes an entirely new UI system that is a little bit tricky to get used to at first, but it does look nice. It's polished around the edges. It has this kind of look that's just super slick. And although, like I said, it's tricky to kind of figure out at first, especially when you're trying to customize your character and figure out how to actually navigate the tabs, it feels nice. It kind of reminds me of the old school Xbox 360 dashboard and how you would actually like have these sliders and tabs that you would shift through. I don't know. It's nice. It does things very simply, gets the job done. And included with it comes new music. So there's actually new soundtracks. It's only one song that I've really noticed. The menu when you're starting up the game has a song as well. It's nice. I actually like the soundtrack. It sounds kind of cool whenever you're sitting there loading, like changing your loadout. In fact, I wish it would actually play over the original dubstep that would play after every single match, which is still there. But the new songs I personally prefer more so. It sounds a little bit nicer to me anyway. I don't really know. It's entirely subjective to the person and individual themselves. But anyways, it's also worth mentioning that all the game audio and sounds have been totally reworked to sound completely different now. So all the sounds are definitely bassier, meatier, and just more brutal compared to how they used to be in the past. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, when I was firing the assault rifle, firing the submachine gun, it was like, this sounds like a death cannon. It's kind of satisfying. It's a little over the top, especially your footsteps. Your footsteps sound like you're literally in a hard suit without being in a hard suit. But for the most part, it is a nice improvement, I guess. And included also is numerous gameplay changes. Now, this is where the video goes from being all positive and happy to purely negative, and I hate that. I hate to have to report this and say this, but the game doesn't feel at all like it used to. Aesthetically, and looking at the game, like, it looks identical. Like, there's not very much of a difference. Like, there are some changes in the maps. Every single map has been reworked, so some of the elevators and some of the maps have been swapped out for just a regular staircase. And some things look a little bit different. You'll see later on some of the evacuation map gameplay that there's new effects too, like the rain hitting the screen and adding, like, this very surreal, crazy monsoon-style effect, which is awesome. I really like it, personally. I think it kind of... I would love to play a game in, like, a campaign immersive type of atmosphere that it just... with that kind of effect, it just feels nice. But the core gameplay mechanics have shifted, and not in a good way. And I'm not the only one that feels this way, so I'm not, like, saying it personally, like, oh, I'm feeling something's off. It's pretty much a general consensus across the board. Every game I've been in, I kind of been shooting messages to individuals in-game, talking about it, like, hit detection, netcode, weapon recoil, weapon feel, sprinting, running, all of it feels completely different from the Blacklight that you know and love. And it's disappointing, really. I don't know why they had to change it. I don't know what made them change it. I mean, Blacklight Retribution was running perfectly before. The only difference is that the servers were kind of all iffy and there was no new content, like the new hardsuit that they added and a couple of new weapons. They have a new compound bow and a few other nuances. But the point is, like, that was the only thing that was lacking. The gameplay itself didn't have to be altered, but for some reason they did. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is literally what the PlayStation 4 version feels like, because if it is, then I feel really bad for them that they've been playing a very inferior version of what was once a skill-based competitive shooter to a degree. Now it just feels insanely impractical in how it just conveys itself. There's so many iffy getting killed from weapons that shouldn't kill you instantly, and being shot around corners, which used to be a Battlefield 4 complaint. And I don't know, like, there's a lot of things that are just very off with this version of Blacklight Retribution, which is a damn shame. It really is, and a lot of people that were already playing it are already deciding to quit. And I've seen that. People were raging out in the chats. They're like, hey, you know what? It's ruined. The game is dead now. Like, BLR isn't even worth playing anymore. And it's a shame, because this game is good. Like, despite all the little things that I hate about free-to-play games that decide to add, like, Call of Duty-style tomahawk exploding things and, you know, fucking katanas and shit, like, that stuff to me is absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, the point is, Blacklight is a solid shooter. As a free-to-play title, it's easily one of the best. And even though it's insanely grindy compared to a lot of other games, like compared to Dirty Bomb that came out recently that I've been playing a hell of a lot of lately, Dirty Bomb is insanely fair in how it actually allows you to be able to acquire everything pretty efficiently for free without having to spend any money whatsoever. Blacklight Retribution is the exact opposite of that. It'll punish you and fucking bend you over and stick baseball bats up your arse because they want you to spend money on their game. Instead of allowing you to be able to acquire things for free with enough effort, they make it an absolute chore to acquire anything for anything. You want to get a permanent weapon, it's gonna, like, you might as well sell your soul or cut off your leg and just give it to the black market, because, like, that's pretty much what this company does. But anyway, that's a little bit besides the point. BLR just doesn't feel right anymore, and I can't explain it any more than that. Like, I already kind of touched on it. It's just the movement. Like, I've noticed one thing that was particularly throwing me off a hell of a lot was sprinting. Now, before, when you were sprinting, you were able to obviously strafe and sprint simultaneously, right? Everyone knows you can run in either direction, or you're running straight, but you can, you know, strafe slightly while you're sprinting. That's completely been, like, removed to some degree, where if I'm already strafing to the left and I hit forward and then I hit shift to sprint, he won't sprint. You have to cancel strafing, sprint, and then re-engage the strafe. The fluid movements there are completely gone. Like, there's no smooth transition between movement speeds or what you're doing. It feels so, like, restricted compared to how it was before. I don't know. I really don't know what to say, guys. It's just like, it's a disappointment. I'm hoping this is just a hurdle that they're gonna, like, overcome. I have no idea, like I said, if this is how the PlayStation 4 version actually feels, if this is literally what Hardsuit Labs wants the game to feel like, because I feel that they went back to removing the recoil and just making it random spread again, which is one of the biggest things I absolutely despised about Blacklight Retribution in the past. When they originally made the game, it was recoil focused, and then they've changed it to having random spread. So the thing about random spread is, even though your crosshair isn't moving, so or your aim point, whatever you're using as your sight, it wouldn't really move that much. It would vibrate to show you that it's shooting, right? But there wasn't really a recoil management system in place. You didn't have to compensate at all. And then your bullets would start spreading all over the place off of the initial point of aim. Hence, random spread. It just deviates all over the place. It's completely impractical, bullshit, and unrealistic, and very frustrating because it completely removes the skill gap. There is no skill in a circumstance like that. It's totally random. That's the thing that, like, there's no such thing as precision shooting anymore, because your bullets just will go where the hell they want, where a calculated random variable is put in place for where the next round's gonna land. I feel like they went back to that now. It's weird, because it's like a combination of the two, though, however. It's like there's recoil when you're aiming down your sight, but when you're hip firing, it's like this really weird spread pattern, and it's just like, even when you're shooting, it just, things just don't feel the way they did before. Before it was perfect, absolutely beautiful, but now it doesn't feel awful. It still feels somewhat like Blacklight, but it just feels off. And that's the only way I can really describe it. That's how everyone else in the game pretty much said as well. They all agreed that things just felt off. Not totally different, not totally ruined, just odd. It wasn't quite what Blacklight used to be like, and Blacklight was excellent before this update. When I made that video back in January when I was playing it, that was probably the perfect state of gameplay mechanics, the core game, how it played, how it functioned, the weapons, everything. That was the perfect version of Blacklight that I have played. And for some reason I was hoping for that, but with improved servers, improved everything, new content, but it's not that at all. It's completely changed. it just feels strange. And it's a damn shame. I don't know. I hope it changes, because although there was a nice boost in players, there's 1,000 people playing it since the update was released. When I was playing it, there was 1,000 people, which is nice to see, like, because the game has been, like, in the low population for a very, very long time. And they just got the patch out. It's been delayed for, like, a week and a half almost. It's been, like, going through this development hell style, or patching hell, I guess you can say, as they're trying to, like, migrate to a new launcher. Everyone had to uninstall the game and reinstall the game to get the new launcher and everything. And then the servers were down for such a long time, but they finally got everything back up and running. It's running today. Today is pretty much when it started working. And there's 1,000 people playing, so it's great, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that are wanting to leave because of how the game feels now. So I hope Hardsuit Labs addresses this, because it's not good. I can just say that. It's not good. The game doesn't feel good at all. Fix it, please, before you ruin the game completely and nobody comes back and gives a shit about this game anymore, because it's already on the brink of death because of what happened because of Perfect World Entertainment, and now it's really close to just dying altogether because of how Blacklight just doesn't feel like a true competitive shooter anymore. It just feels totally cheap. Actually, I'm gonna quote one individual who said it literally feels like one of those knockoff FPS games on Steam Greenlight that are just super low budget and try to achieve the bare minimum of what it takes to create a first-person shooter. That's literally what it feels like now. It doesn't feel at all like a polished around the edges type of game. It just feels insanely cheap. I don't know why, because aesthetically and looking at the game, it's identical. Things aren't that different, but for some reason the feel of the game just is. I don't know. I really don't know. I hope this is something that gets addressed. I hope this is something that gets fixed, because I want to play Blacklight again. I want to get into this game again, because I have a huge love for Blacklight. It started with Tango Down. I mean, let's be honest here, Tango Down is the reason why my YouTube channel even exists. It's the reason why I'm here today bringing you this content. That is because of Blacklight Tango Down, one of my favorite shooters of all time, just because of the way it plays out. It's perfect. In fact, I would absolutely love it if Hardsuit Labs would somehow acquire the rights for that as well, and just completely make it free. Get rid of, like, Games for Windows Live, put in Steamworks, and just have the game available, do the same thing that Red Faction Guerrilla did, and sell it for like $1, and I guarantee you people would come friggin' running to play that game. I definitely will. I would fucking love it if they did that. I would lose my mind with happiness. Because, I mean, as much as Blacklight Retribution is good, and, you know, technically a little bit better around some of the edges, I still prefer Tango Down. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. I think it's a little bit superior. It's just it feels more competitive. It feels more along the lines of Counter-Strike. If that makes any sense, but it doesn't at the same time. I don't know. It's weird. It just feels more polished compared to this, especially now. But, I don't know. I'm just hoping that they can remedy this so that all the players that come back will be happy to see Blacklight Retribution in its former glory versus what it is right now, which is just this complete mess of whatever the hell this is supposed to be. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I'm hoping this is not like a console version. I really hope this is not how the PlayStation 4 version is. I'm just saying that for the sake of PlayStation 4 players everywhere, because holy crap, this is such a letdown. I'm having a takedown Red Saber moment, and that's not good at all. So, that pretty much wraps up the video, guys. My name's been PepperBelly. Thank you guys for joining me today. I wish I had better news for Blacklight Retribution. Hopefully, in time, and through forum posts and talking with the developers, we will see a change. I'll see you guys on the next one.